Vibrant morning. Ini gini ya. Kusulobat.
Morning and welcome to Vibrant Morning here in BTV, your home live TV. Now, Vibrant Morning brings you what is in the People Daily newspaper. And remember, we just give you a brief and you take the responsibility to read more comprehensively. This morning, we are again grateful to God and also thankful to you, our dear viewers, for keeping tuned to BTV Kenya. I'm your host, Gagi Isaiah, and this morning, my co-host Lennox Odede is around this morning with much of goodies from Migori County. Lennox, welcome.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I should say thank you.
Yes, whichever.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I thought you had to say something.
No, you just greeted me and I returned the greetings.
And I say welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Okay. It is normal here in the studio, and that's how we pick it and keep it going. Now,
Yes.
remember, you can reach us on our Facebook page, that is Blackman TV. Remember to leave a comment, send your questions, and let us know where we are reaching you from.
Yeah.
And if in any case you want us to improve our services, that is the best platform to reach us. And also remember, you can also visit us on YouTube, that is BTV Kenya. Remember to leave a comment so that we know where we are reaching you from. Remember, we really value you and your feedback. Now, as we continue again, you can reach us on TikTok and also on Instagram. And also you can also reach us on other social media platforms. Now, before we kick this off officially, as we have just done, let me take this opportunity once again to welcome Lennox to give us much of what happened in Migori County across the week. Welcome, Lennox, on that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaiah Gagi. It has been so. The week started yesterday,
Yeah.
and there are people who have not healed from the Addis Ababa saga. There are people who are still celebrating, but all in all, we are happy that Baba came back safe. Now, today, the PS for housing, Charles Hinga, is it the PS or? Yes, I think it's the PS for housing. Charles Hinga is set to hold a meeting with the leaders from Migori County And last week, before they set off for Addis Ababa, we saw the CS Treasury, how John Bade, having a meeting with all the leaders from the county of Migori. It's only that we did not see two leaders there. We did not see the woman rep, and we did not see the MP for Suna East in that meeting. We hope that in today's meeting, we hope that they will be around for the meeting, so that they can discuss the matters pertaining Migori County. And we expect all the leaders to at least put aside their differences, so that they can have a fruitful meeting. And we are very happy that in that meeting we saw the Suna West MP, we saw the Uriri MP, we saw Rongo MP together with the governor, we saw the senator, we saw Nyatike MP Tomo Dege, we saw Kuria East MP Kitayama Maisori, we saw Kuria West MP Matthias Robi. All of them were in that meeting, and the meeting went well. So we expect today the meeting to go well, and to discuss matters housing, especially in Migori County. And we expect the leaders also to at least represent our grievances to the PS, or rather to the government. Much have not happened in Migori County, but we have the gubernatorial aspirant during the last election, that is Byron Oginga, also came out to call upon the youths to at least come out in large numbers and vie for these political positions, because we have the political bigwigs who, the youths, we have been supporting them, but at the end, once they are in power, what they do is to employ their fellow retirees, and they employ people who are so old. You know, it's even funny enough that it is in Kenya where we have a youth representative who is over 80 years old. I don't want to mention the name, but we have a youth representative who is old. So you begin to wonder, how will this mzee represent the youth? So it is something very funny. So that's all in the county of Migori.
Okay. On that note, we are so much grateful for what you have for us in Migori County. And remember, yesterday we asked a question as we were ending the program yesterday in the morning. I gave a story, a brief story of what happened yesterday. And I expected to get some response from our viewers to give us their opinion. But before we tackle them, what is your take on what actually I shared yesterday in regards to family matters?
You know, when it comes to family matters, once there's a difference between you and your spouse, you should keep it away from the children as much as possible. You should be able to keep it away from the children as much as possible. In fact, your differences should be solved somewhere in a closed door, somewhere very far from children, because let's say that you have your differences in front of a baby or of a child, and then you happen to beat the wife, or the wife happens to beat you. Now, if this child is a boy, then he will grow up knowing that, you know, in a society, people must be violent, and people, once you are married, then you have to fight, you know, such like things. And again, which is very dangerous, because now you are bringing up a bitter person. You know, you are bringing up a bitter person, you are bringing up a person who can get angry, angry anytime, you see. So we don't want such like things to happen in our society, because we are fighting against what we call the gender-based violence. And gender-based violence, it doesn't apply to men, from men to women. It applies even from women to men.
It's a cross.
Yeah, it's a cross. It's a two-way traffic. So we don't want to see such like things happening in the society in future, because we've seen several people, maybe someone killing someone. And by the way, I have a neighbor, and I was talking to her because the neighbor, she just moved in to where I live. And so, you know, I was having a chit chat with her, and she was like, you know, it reached a point whereby I was seeing someone, one of us would go to the morgue, while one of us would go to, how do we call it? Let's say prison. And so she tells me that when I realized that, because I was already bitter, I decided to move out. And right now, here I am, I have peace, because I can go to work, come back to my house, cook my food, eat peacefully, sleep peacefully. So, you know, and Makiu akona mtoto. So it means that for her to avoid such like things, she decides to move out. Aachie yule mwingine space, yule mwingine pia ampe nafasi, such that if in any case the other party will come looking for her this side, then the other party will be on the wrong side. Or rather, when she will decide to go to the other party, then it means that she will be on the wrong side. Ni yeye atakuwa amemchokoza mwenzake. So we want such kind of things. If you see it is not working, just move out. And if there's a way you can have a dialogue and solve your issues, then do it as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Lennox, for that. I believe what is happening so much in our society today is a couple with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Number one is a financial constraint, which we cannot run away from. No matter how we try to push it aside, that does not bring differences in the families, but it is a key factor when it comes to bringing the differences in the families. Number two, failure to understand each other. You know, sometimes you may just fail to understand who you are and who the other person is, and basically it does not show a good picture when parents fight in front of their kids, in front of their children. It doesn't give a good picture, and like you've said, that act inculcates a behavior in either of the child, whether it's a male or a female, knowing something which is wrong to be true. So from my point, I would advise that in cases of such, the parents should be very, very careful. The parents should be very, very careful when they handle their indifferences, both in the house and outside the house. And again, I believe it has reached a point whereby, as the society needs to embrace what is known as counseling, because right now there's a lot that is happening, and counseling needs to be on spot. We need to reach out to be counseled. We need to reach out to find out to help with issues that affect our lives. If we don't go this direction, we are really going to lose a lot, because a lot is now happening. Now, with that much and what we've heard from Migori County, let us get into what we have in the People Daily newspaper. Now tuingie ndani ya karatasi ya People Daily, gazeti ya People Daily, tuone mambo yapi yumo pale. Na kwenye gazeti ya People Daily tunaona ya kwamba katika ukurasa wa kwanza pale, ambaye pia ina big story of the day, ni kana kwamba kwa nini wale wabunge wa UDA wanataka sasa kusukuma ili bunge iliweze kupitisha ile mswada wa kukuwa na nafasi ya prime minister. Hilo tuliona ya kwamba ilikuwa pale hapo awali, lakini sasa hivi tunaona imeamshwa tena. It says why Ruto allies want Raila for Prime Minister. That is in page 4 of the People Daily newspaper. Yuko katika liko pale katika ukurasa wa 4. Tutaangazia kwa kina kidogo, na pia tunaona tunaona pale ya kwamba sickly state health scheme wobbles into fresh headwinds. Pia hiyo ni kuhusiana na mambo ya SHA. Pia liko pale, tutaangazia pia kwa kifupi, na pia tunaona pale katika ukurasa wa 5 bunge yakataa kuondolewa kwake speaker Moses Wetangula. Iliyo pia liko pale, na pia tunaona kuna hali ya kutatanisha baada ya rais wa US President Donald Trump kujitokeza na kusema ya kwamba hatakomesha usaidizi unaokuja kwa Kenya kwa ajili ya katika minajili ya kusaidia wale ambao wanaishi na ugonjwa wa ukimwi. Tunaona hilo pia liko katika ukurasa wa 6 pale, tutaangazia kwa kina. Na wacha tuingie katika ukurasa wa pili pale, ambapo tunaona EACC waweza kukamata a prosecutor over claim of taking bribe. The fears are rife that the arrest could stain the relationship between the two agencies. Tunaona kwenye story hili tunaona kana kwamba ofisi ya DPP, prosecutor wa DPP aliweza kukamatwa na afisa wa EACC, wakitaja kwamba huyu kulingana na utafiti waliofanya, uchunguzi waliofanya, walipata kwamba huyu ana hatia, ana mashtaka ya kujibu kuhusiana na mambo ya unaita uhalifu ama huyu anaitwa mwendesha mashtaka katika mahakama moja aliweza kuitisha hongo ya shilingi 50,000 ili aweze kuangusha kesi, kutupilia mbali kesi. Na unajua katika mahakama mahakama ndio sehemu moja ambapo kama unafanya masuala ya kuchukua hongo ama masuala ya uhalifu, lazima uweze kuwa makini zaidi, kwa sababu pale hawahitaji swala lolote kuhusiana na kuchukua rushwa ama kuchukua hongo. Ndiposa huyu mtu ambaye alikuwa anataka usaidizi aliposikia kwamba nipe pesa niweze kukusaidia hii kesi ipotee, akasema kwamba unajua ukifika kwenye mahakama unaambiwa kwamba this is a corruption free zone, if in any case of corruption please report to this and this and this. So the guy reported. So after the guy reporting, now the judge told him, he was told now, can you bargain? So the guy bargained with the prosecutor. Prosecutor akasema basi leta shilingi 40,000. Sasa jamaa akakubali. Sasa wakati ambapo alikuwa anapeana pesa, hapo ndipo alishikwa. Ndio sasa hapo unashikwa na evidence. Na sasa tukiangazia hadithi hili ambalo liko hapa, tunaona huyu afisa kutoka kwa Director of Public Prosecution, Office of DPP. Na huyu aliweza kushikwa na kupelekwa mbele. Na mahali ambapo wanapelekwa mbele ni prosecutor, lakini huyu prosecutor anapelekwa mbele ya Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Na tunaona kuwa hao ofisi mbili, hizi ofisi mbili, ofisi za ODPP na ofisi ya ACC wanafanya kazi kwa uhusiano, kwa karibu, kwa pamoja. Na ofisi moja inaegemea kwa usaidizi kutoka kwa mwingine. Sasa swali kuu ni kwamba ni kuwa itakuwaje?
Ni kwamba kesi hii itakuwa na another prosecutor.
Ambaye kwa sababu huyu amefikishwa kwa ACC,
ambaye atakuwa anaendesha mashtaka. Kesi hii itaendeshwa na
itapelekwa kwenye mahakama ama itabaki hapa tu kwa EACC?
Lazima ifikishwe kwa mahakama. lakini sasa EACC ndio sasa inaendesha hii kesi.
Na sasa wakiendesha hii kesi, tuangalie tu kwa makini sana. Inaonekana kana kwamba kunaenda kuwepo hapo mbele na kutoaminiana. Tunaona
these people are just following the law.
ODPP.
So where do you take the prosecutor? The prosecutor is on the wrong side of the law. Where do you take him or her?
Now, let me get to English. From the story that we've had here,
yeah,
it is very clear that this officer, this prosecutor from Office of Director of Public Prosecution, is arrested and is taken to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, whereby we see these two offices or these two agencies, they work in close relationships.
Yeah.
The Office of Director of Public Prosecution depends on the investigations from the Office of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Now we see the prosecutor taken to this court. Do you think in any way it is going to kind of bring lack of confidence or mistrust within these two offices?
Not really, because we have very many prosecutors. There are very many prosecutors. He is not the only prosecutor to be arrested. We've seen judges being taken to court. We've seen people who work in court being taken to the bar. The other day we saw Douglas Kanja and how do we call Mohammed being taken to court. It doesn't mean that someone is compromising, an office is compromising an office. Yeah, the only thing here is that the law is following its course, because this is a prosecutor who works under the office of the public prosecutor, because even if you go to the Migori law courts, each and every court you will find at least a prosecutor. Court 1 you will find a prosecutor, court 2 you will find a prosecutor, court 3 you will find a prosecutor, court 4 hivyo. So it means that once this prosecutor is arrested, then another prosecutor will have to come in to continue with the case.
What will become of their relationship, the relationship between the two agencies? Do you see that?
Every agency is doing its work. Yeah, that is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can grab a copy and read much of that story more comprehensively. It is in page 2 of the People Daily newspaper, and you read more comprehensively. Now we see on the same page 2, Nairobi Hospital to appeal board directors case. A story by Caroline Kubwa.
Yeah.
The Nairobi Hospital has vowed to file an appeal against a high court order restraining it from electing new board of directors and trustees.
Yeah.
While promising to adhere to the injunction issued on December 4th, 2024 by the High Court, the hospital said in a statement that the gag order will disrupt its operations into the determinant of patients. Now we see also on 24th, that is on 4th of 2024 December, the High Court actually gave an order.
Yeah.
The elections which were supposed to be held by Nairobi Hospital to elect the board of directors and some other leaders should be stopped. And now we see the hospital coming out and they say they're going to appeal to that order. Now that is very important, because those are matters that attach to us, that affect us directly. Please grab a copy and read more comprehensively of that story. It is in page 2. Now moving on to page 3, Ruto and others recall capture head Nzioka as eminent educationist. Sasa tunaona sasa hapa mara ya pili tena kuna tangazo ya watu ambao wamedhaminika sana katika nchi yetu kufariki, na tunaona hapa rais wetu alijitokeza na kuomboleza huyu aliyekuwa kiongozi ya walimu, muungano ya walimu Nzioka, ambaye alifariki siku ya Jumapili baada ya kushika katika ajali pale katika njia ya kuelekea Athi River huko Mombasa Road alipokuwa akielekea nyumbani. tunasema poleni sana kwa walimu. Najua ni changamoto kubwa sana. Si kama Lennox una jambo la kusema?
Niliona viongozi wengi wakimomboleza Nzioka kama mtu ambaye alijitoa katika kufanya kazi yake na kuhakikisha kwamba walimu na wanafunzi wanafanya kazi, walimu na wanafunzi wanapata fursa sawa ya kuendesha shughuli zao. Na kile ambacho mimi naweza nikasema ni kwamba rest in peace, and we are very sorry to the family, and we feel the pain that the family is going through right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, that story by Alvin Mwangi is on the is bring us to light on what happened and the cause of death of KEPSHA, that is Kenya Primary Schools Heads Association, KEPSHA. That's Chairperson Johnson Nzioka. Tunasema poleni sana na Mungu awafariji familia wakiwa wanapitia katika hali ngumu hiyo. Na pia we also see on the same page the history as cruise ship docks in port 3 hours apart. One of the two vessels, Wild Odyssey, doubles as floating university with 677 students in unusual academic program. Story by Ruben Mwambingu. Mombasa was alive with excitement as two grand cruise ships, MV Wild Odyssey and MS Europe, sailed into the port, bringing over 1,000 eager tourists to the coastal city. Now we see the tourism is picking up well, and things are getting in place.
Yeah.
And this is a big boost for the tourists. You can also grab a copy.
You know, I've seen this story and remembered what a particular media house wrote, and a particular vernacular media house wrote yesterday, and it brought a lot of discussion in our WhatsApp group. And I will tell you that after. Remind me, I'll tell you that after the show.
Relate with this story.
Yeah, it is related with this story.
Yeah,
like it's about the two ships which docked. Is it docking? Yeah, which docked at the harbor in Mombasa. And now there's a way it was put in vernacular. Yes, and it was very funny. So I'll tell you that once we're done with the show.
Okay, I get you pretty well, but we'll get back there and see what is in that story. Let us move to page 3. Mixed reaction as Ruto allies open Prime Minister post for Raila debate.
Good.
Close associates of President William Ruto now want NADCO report adopted to allow for the creation of position to accommodate Nemesis Odinga after AU flop. Story by Mercy Mwai. What is your take on that story? Creating a position, adopting to the report from NADCO that had proposed the creation of the position of the Prime Minister. Now we see some members of the Parliament who are close allies and now they want to push this so that it be adopted. Well, at the same time, you see other members from ODM do not want this to be done, and others also saying it has created, they have created enough room for broad-based government. Why this?
I think these people are just trying to how do we call it, to ensure that Baba doesn't go for that race. That is what they are trying to do. They're trying to ensure that Baba doesn't run for that presidential race come 2027. So they're trying to at least tell Baba, we tried to positions for you, we tried to take you to AU, we tried to take you to UN, we tried to do this and this and this and this, and it worked or it did not work. So please give us some time. So it is that is it. I think that's what they are trying to do. And by doing this, then it's like they are trying to inform Baba that we don't need you to vie for the presidency come 2027, but the only thing we need you to do is to at least give us some space, so that at least our man can work for 2 terms.
Okay, okay. I get you so well. The stories by Massimoy, allies of President William Ruto, have revived the debate on the creation of position of Prime Minister as they look for ways to keep the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in their camp ahead of 2027 general elections. You can also grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read much and more. Now, Malava MP
Malulu
Injedi succumbed to illness in Nairobi. Another case of death.
Yeah.
And we say, tunasema poleni sana kwa wale ambao wanaishi katika maeneo bunge la Malava. Poleni sana kwa kupoteza
kiongozi wenu,
mwakilishi wenu katika bunge. Tunasema poleni sana, na tunaamini ya kwamba Mungu atawafariji, na tunajiunga pamoja na wenzetu kutoka sehemu mbalimbali katika nchi tunaposema poleni sana. Tunajua huyu Malulu alikuwa mtu, sio mtu hivi, alikuwa mtu ambaye akisema neno anasimama na neno lake. Kamwe hachi neno lake. Tunasema poleni sana. Only a day after Baringo Senator William Cheptumo died while undergoing treatment at Nairobi Hospital, another legislator died yesterday, sending the country into an intensified mourning mood. Malava constituency Member of Parliament Moses Malulu, a 3-term lawmaker, died yesterday, weeks after being admitted to the intensive care unit at hospital in Nairobi. We are very sorry for that. That's a big loss even to the members of the parliament. It is a big loss. Let us hope that they will find solace in the Lord. You can grab a copy and read that. Now we move to page 5, where we see Wetangula finds refugee in house rules. Now petitioners informed that unless a motion is brought by members, the speaker's conduct cannot be discussed. Now we see this grassroots network, National Assembly. It's called Grassroots Oversight Initiative, seeking to have National Assembly Moses Wetangula kicked out of the office due to procedural limitations under parliamentary rules. Now this Grassroots Oversight Initiative wanted the Speaker of the National Assembly to be kicked out of his position, to be kicked out of his role, of his office, citing that he has not been procedural, he has not been following procedure when it comes to matters that pertains to the National Assembly. But we see, according to the rules, according to the laws governing the National Assembly, it is clear that nobody can come from outside and try to bring something in the parliament to question the conduct of the Speaker. Rather, it should be from within the August House, from within the Assembly. Now, what is your take?
I think these are a very good move, because the law must just be followed. So if in any case the members of parliament have lost confidence in Moses Wetangula, then let them do the work.
Not somebody from outside.
Not somebody from outside.
Okay. Grab a copy and read that story on page 5. Now, SACCO officials presents himself before court for plea taking in theft case. Story by Caroline Kubwa, director of Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperative, Cusco Limited, who was wanted in connection with 82 million Kenya shilling theft yesterday, presented himself before Nairobi court for taking plea. Now, George Otieno Ototo had failed to appear in the court last Wednesday, where 4 other Cusco officials took their place, and the court had issued summons for his appearance. He was expected to appear in court today. Now, Ototo had showed up to clear the way on the accusation of loss of funds amounting to 82 million. That's on Sacco Matters. You can also grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper
It's a lot
and
of money.
read more comprehensively. We move to page 6, where we see CS Kenya risks 50,000 new HIV cases due to funding gap. Now, the Ministry of Health want counties to set aside funds to aid the transition from donor-funded project to self-reliance. Remember a story by Rollins Otieno and George Kibaso. This comes after US President Donald Trump withdrew or is pushing for the withdrawal of US aid to African countries and other countries in the world.
Yeah.
And now we see now the CS in charge of health is saying now there's going to be a risk for over 50,000 patients, people living with HIV/AIDS, and those who will be infected in future. And now it's calling that there should be funds that will help in the transition from being dependent on the donors to self-reliance, that we Kenyans, we should be able to provide for ourselves, to buy the drugs for ourselves, to sustain us.
Yeah.
Now, that is what the CS is saying on that story. Please grab a copy and read more. I want you to take on this one. Clinical officers down their tools today over unmet CBA deals. What happens?
The stories by George Kebaso and Francis Gidinji. So I think the government should just ensure that these clinical officers doesn't go on strike, because health sector, I don't know why it is being hit left, right, and center. But we don't want to see such kind of things. Please, the government should ensure that if there is a collective, how do we call it, CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, is it that?
Yes, that is
Yeah, if there is a CBA that should be met, then it should be met as soon as possible to avoid such kind of things. Because right now, if these people go on strike today, then it means that the health sector will be paralyzed, which is very dangerous. Yeah.
But I see, you know, when you make an agreement, when you sign an agreement, that agreement should be followed. It should be implemented. I think we need to come out of the situation whereby the government makes something, they agree on something, and they don't follow up.
Yeah.
I'm not in a position to say, but I think the government needs to come out clean and shout much of what that story is all about. That story on page 6. Equity Bank select 750 graduates to join Wings to Fly program. Wings to Fly.
Yeah. So it's a program which
750 graduates, KCPE graduates who are supposed to join universities have been selected in this program. And we have to commend Equity Bank for the work that they're doing. Giving opportunity to people who have excelled, who have done well, to make sure that they see their career and their dreams coming true. And we see that the 750 will be deployed in equity banks across the republic to undertake some duties there, some roles as they wait to join college. I think this is also a good move.
Yeah, it's a good move.
And we also a specialist call for release of attempted suicide suspects. Our story is by Milian Murigi. Psychiatrist call for the individuals, whether already processed or still undergoing legal procedure, to be freed to seek medical attention. Now we have those people who have been arrested, who have been taken to jail because they are tempted to take their own lives. Now we see the specialist calling for their release, that they should be released. And this comes after mental health specialists have called on justice sector to immediately release all individuals currently in custody for attempted suicide following a landmark High Court ruling that decriminalized act in Kenya. Now the High Court ruled that attempted suicide should not be criminalized. And now we see the mental health specialists are now saying that these people should be released, then they should seek for
mental assistance,
mental checkup, taken to the rehabilitation centers. What is your take? All along it has been well known that in any case you found yourself, you try to commit suicide and you don't die, you taken to court and you're prosecuted and you're jailed. Now we see the High Court coming up and overturning this, saying those who attempted suicide should not be what?
This is a very good move, because once you arrest someone, take him or her to court, maybe sentence him to a particular period to serve in jail, you have not completed the problem of this person. Yeah, because maybe he can come out of there, then immediately commit the suicide, because bado akona huo msongo wa mawazo. So I think this is a good move. Let these people be taken to the specialist, so that at least they can do their work, so that at least these people can get assistance as needed. Yeah.
So you are in support of that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to take much, but that is stories there. You can grab a copy and read more comprehensively of that story, which is in page 7 of the People Daily newspaper. Now, MPs blame staff morale and certainty for SHA woes. Now, the MPs are now saying whatever is happening to SHA, that is the roll-up of the new social health, it's called Social Health Authority. The reason why it has not picked up, the MPs are now blaming on staff morale. And they say this is because those who have been working with NHIF, they were now to take roles in the SHA, but they are employed for 6 months contract. So, like, the morale is not boosted. They have to keep working, not knowing their fate with SHA, not knowing the fate of their job. So that is what the MPs now says is much of the factors that affect SHA. Now, sticky state health plan wobbles fresh headwinds. Months into the new health scheme, fresh survey highlights payment challenges, system lapses, and declined competence. Now, according to the research that was done on the same, according to the reports that has come out on the same, they found that SHA or SHIF has been facing a challenge. Number one, with payment challenges. Those who make payment, there's been reduction. People have not been compliant in terms of making payment to the SHA. Number two, they're saying those who are in the hospital, who are supposed to use their SHA for the treatment, payment also has been delayed. And they're also saying, again, there's system lapses. When we talk about system lapses, it means that you go to the hospital, you're checking your details, and you find that system does not work out. Maybe it has flopped, maybe it is congested. So those are some of the challenges that the report has come up with, that we see from the report. The story is by Samuel Karaoke, and they're saying out of 10, you'll find that only out of 10, you'll find that only 2 will suffer not finding their health cover effective as a result of the challenges that we have seen there. Please grab a copy and read much of that story. We are jumping with speed. We are going to jump to page 13. Judges declined to stop Kimunya prosecution. Kimunya, remember Amos Kimunya?
Kimunya must go.
Yes. And Kimunya said, now, the Court of Appeal uphold High Court decision, which was a petition by the state after Magistrate Court had absolved the ex-minister. Remember a story by Alphonse Mungao. Now, we see that Kimunya was accused of gross misconduct that was relied so much on matters to do with the with the land grabbing.
Yeah.
And the case was now forwarded, moved further. But now we see the 3-judge bench has said that he should face prosecution, should be prosecuted, and things should take on good shape. You can check on that story. It's there. And also we see state lands claimants plea for CS and Ruto intervention. Now, story by Oliver Musembi. More than 1,500 squatters who have been living on a 400-acre parcel of land, state land in Kiambu County for over 30 years have appealed to the Ministry of Land to settle them. You can also grab a copy that is in Kiambu area. You can check and read out more. Kindiki hails Cheptumo as an avid peace crusader. And now the story, this is as Kindiki utilized Cheptumo, who passed on Sunday.
The Baringo senator. And he's been celebrated as one of the leaders who ensured that his people got served adequately.
Yes.
And he was also in the forefront to fight the banditry, which is a menace in the county of Baringo.
Yes.
So we will really miss him.
Yeah. The story is by Wycliffe Kipsang. Now that story on Baringo and on Cheptumo brings us to the first break. We take a sip and we'll be back in a little while. Keep tuned to BTV.
Thank you so much.
Vibrant morning with BTV. Utamu na urembo wa maisha hubainishwa na kumbukumbu za kipekee zinazowafanya wapendwa wetu kupendezwa na urembo huo. Blackman Digitech Studios sasa ndiyo studio pekee inayoweza kukupea kumbukumbu kama hizi. Tunatoa huduma kama vile birthday shoots, graduation shoots, baby shower shoots, banner designing and printing, indoor and outdoor photoshoot, roll-up banners, t-shirt branding and printing, imported polo t-shirts branding, videography, school ID printing, live streaming, TV adverts and voiceovers, 3D streetlight banners, rubber stamp. Pia tunatoa mafunzo ya ICT classes, videography classes, cyber services na mengine mengi. Ili kujua mengi zaidi, tutembelee katika afisi zetu zinazopatikana Onyinjo karibu na Tiendege bodaboda stage, au tupigie simu kwa nambari 0721379308. Blackman Digitech Studios, the quality you can trust. Vibrant morning with BTV. This is BTV Kenya, your home live TV.
Welcome to Blackman Digitech Graphics. We offer design, printing and branding services using large format printing, offset and digital printing. Our approach to printing, graphics design and branding is top-notch with quality services including roll-up banners, street banners, teardrops, reflective banners, telescope banners, vehicle branding, road signages, mugs, badges, t-shirts, polo shirts, hoodies, pens, letterheads, business cards, envelopes, receipt books, brochures, flyers, posters, calendars, magazines, wedding cards, plastic ID cards, funeral programs, and many more. We also have indoor and outdoor videography, photography, and live streaming services. Visit us at our Migori Market, Onyinjo Bridge, Tiendege Stage offices. Call or WhatsApp us through 0721 379308 or 0736 352224. Connect with us on YouTube and Facebook at Blackman TV. We are on TikTok as BTV Kenya and also Blackman Studios on Facebook as well. Blackman Digital Graphics, quality you can trust.
Utamu na urembo wa maisha hubainishwa na kumbukumbu za kipekee zinazowafanya wapendwa wetu kupendezwa na urembo huo. Blackman Digital Studios sasa ndiyo studio pekee inayoweza kukupea kumbukumbu kama hizi. Tunatoa huduma kama vile birthday shoots, graduation shoots, baby shower shoots, banner designing and printing, indoor and outdoor photoshoot, roll-up banners, t-shirt branding and printing, imported polo t-shirts branding, videography, school ID printing, live streaming, TV adverts and voice-overs, 3D streetlight banners, rubber stamp. Pia tunatoa mafunzo ya ICT classes, videography classes, cyber services na mengine mengi. Ili kujua mengi zaidi, tutembelee katika afisi zetu zinazopatikana Onyinjo karibu na Tiendege bodaboda stage, au tupigie simu kwa nambari 0721379308. Blackman Digital Studios, the quality you can trust.
Vibrant Morning with BTV.
Utamu na urembo wa maisha hubainishwa na kumbukumbu za kipekee zinazowafanya wapendwa wetu kupendezwa na urembo huo. Blackman Digital Studios sasa ndiyo studio pekee inayoweza kukupea kumbukumbu kama hizi. Tunatoa huduma kama vile birthday shoots, graduation shoots, baby shower shoots, banner designing and printing, indoor and outdoor photoshoot, roll-up banners, t-shirt branding and printing, imported polo t-shirts branding, videography, school ID printing, live streaming, TV adverts and voice-overs, 3D streetlight banners, rubber stamp. Pia tunatoa mafunzo ya ICT classes, videography classes, cyber services na mengine mengi. Ili kujua mengi zaidi, tutembelee katika afisi zetu zinazopatikana Onyinjo karibu na Tiendege bodaboda stage, au tupigie simu kwa nambari 0721.
Vibrant morning. We just had a short break and we are back. Now we were on page 14 of the People Daily newspaper, where we gave you a brief of Kindiki's condolence with the Cheptumus family over his death. Now on the same page we see the state raises concern over rise in substance abuse among the youths. Story by Matthew Ndungu. Now the Ministry of Health has raised concern over the alarming rise in the substance abuse among youths in the country. Mr. Lennox.
Yes.
What is your take? There's a lot of young people who are now engaging in drug and substance abuse.
You know, the rise in number, I think it comes about, I blame the internet, and I blame the wrong use of internet, especially among the youths and among the people. Because right now, when you look at the internet, it is all about partying and all that. And again, I blame the kind of music that our young people do listen to nowadays. I blame the kind of music that people do listen to nowadays, because most of the music contents that you will find the young generation are listening to, their music content with messages full of drug use, or rather drug and substance abuse. Yes, because I don't want to mention names, but we have several artists, especially genge artists. Their main focus is always on use of alcohol, immorality. So that's what they sell. And you will find even some of them shooting their videos with the, how do you call it, tumblers, and then he tells you, right, what is in the tumbler is this is what is in the tumbler, and I am taking it. So what happens then? The young people, then now that's where now they focus on.
Now, I did not want to get into this, but you've mentioned social media and media generally. I have found it very difficult and challenging with the content creators of these days. Yeah. What content creators create for us, you fail to understand is
even really by the content. Yeah.
Like, number one, most, I don't know why people think that if you have to create a content, then it must be tailored towards, number one, you've talked about drugs. Number two, it has to be tailored towards sex.
Yeah.
Check. Go to TikTok. Go to Facebook. What they term as content creating, the higher percentage is tailored towards or aligning towards either drugs or sex.
Yeah.
What is happening? I did not want to get into this. I hope our viewers are going to give us more insight. Now we go to page 25 very fast. Now, BAT on the spot over alleged tax evasion of 3.6 billion Kenya shillings. Now, according to analysis done by an investigative group, 9.6 billion Kenya shillings discrepancy appeared after it compared 6 annual reports by the firm for the production data.
BAT stands for British America Tobacco.
Kenya.
So it's Limited. One of the companies which really thrived in Kenya. And for you to know more about the tax evasion and all that, the stories by Victor Mukabi. British American Tobacco Kenya, a public company listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange since 1969, is on the spot over alleged tax evasion of shillings to $28 million, that is 3.6 billion, between the years of 2017 and 2018, as per the investigative desk.
Now you can grab a copy and read that. Also on the same page, we have several tier 1 banks yet to lower interest rate amid CBK push. Even after the Central Bank of Kenya pushed and urged the banks to lower their interest rates, now we see that they are still not yet for the borrowers, and we had seen cooperative coming up to lower the loan interest rates and some other banks, but most of them are not yet coming down to lower their interest rate. Now we also move ever strong in high stake 129.2 billion expressway plan. You can also check that. Analysis says while pension funds have the capacity under regulatory limits, mobilizing raising the full amount from a single source by challenging. You can also read that story by Noel Wandera. Now, we move with speed to matters of world news. Uganda drops military trial as Besigye falls ill. Kiza Besigye has grown critically ill during a hunger strike against imprisonment, his lawyer says. Besigye was abducted from Kenya, found himself in Uganda, and actually he was taken directly to military prison, where he was to go trial there. But again, you realize that he went through hunger strike. He was striking, not eating. He decided he was not going to eat for the time that is there in the prison, and that has led him to become so ill.
Pundits claims that being that Besigye was arrested in Kenya and taken back to Uganda, it costed Raila Amolo Odinga in the just concluded AU general election.
How?
And because there are people who are seeing it as they are supporting, the state supported, how do you call it? Abductions, irregular trials, and all that. And we saw the newly elected AUC chair, that is, how do you call him? Mohamud, from Djibouti. He said that he called for immediate release for Kiza Besigye, and said that he needs to seek medical attention as soon as possible because he's being detained illegally and he's being detained forcefully. And he said that kind of tyranny must stop. And I think Uganda will heed to that. I believe Uganda maybe will heed to that, because even when Besigye was taken to hospital yesterday, is it yesterday or the other day?
Yes.
Yesterday, no one was allowed to see him. The likes of Bobby Wine were denied access to see him. So that kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just hope Kiza Besigye will get freed and will get justice at long last.
Yeah, now on page 24, Russia and US confirm Ukraine peace talks in Saudi Arabia. Now we've seen now the United States is coming up to bring peace between the Ukraine and Russia. This has cost a lot. You can also check that story and read. Afghanistan Taliban makes debut trip to Japan to build relations. That is also a story which I believe is very, very important. Now we get to matters of sports. On sports, we see big boost for future star at Tujiamini initiative. Now grassroots footballers have fresh hope after SportPesa major sponsorship upgrade. Story by Shadrach and Denga. Now second edition of Tujiamini initiative was launched last weekend at Dandora Stadium in Nairobi, with parent company SportPesa injecting 70 million into the program to support the growth and development of talented in individuals and grassroots teams. Now we hope Harambee Stars will be enjoying on this as the Nini comes up. And on the same we see journalists register third place in Chezadimba National Championship. That's a story by Shadrach Adenga. I don't know whether you would have played if you were there. Now Sports Journalist Association of Kenya secured third place in one-day 4-team round robin tournament at Dandora Stadium, Nairobi on Sunday. You can also check and read much of that. And moving, Thunder strike twice to win match secure memorable deal. Story by Patrick Wanja. Nairobi City Thunder proved their mantle in the Kenya Basketball Federation Premier League with commanding 85-67 victory over United States International University at Nyayo International Gymnasium in at the weekend. You can also grab a copy and read that. And also we see Omanyala speaks out why Toyota will conquer Safari Rally. African speedster believes Toyota preparation will give them the edge in upcoming Safari Rally event. Story by Samson Ateka. Please grab a copy and read much of that story. Frustration for promotion chases as top 2 drops point. Now story by Barry Schiller. Now title chasing National Super League contenders Nairobi United FC and APS Bomet FC were held to frustrating draw over the weekend as the promotion battle intensify. We don't know what will happen to National Super League. We don't know which teams are going to move to to Kenya Premier League after they qualify, because we see there's a stiff competition there in National Super League. And also we see shared spoil in campaign. Neither side could find a breakthrough in Machakos as Gor Mahia Tusker settled for a goalless draw in their FKF Premier League encounter. Gor Mahia and Tusker did not find the back of the net of either of the teams. They drew. And that brings me to the question. The new Gor Mahia tactician, the new coach, Mihik. What's happening? We are not seeing any change.
You know, with me, I was a fanatic of Sony Sugar FC. So when Sony Sugar FC went dead, I also went dead from pertaining sports in Kenya, especially football in Kenya.
It is okay. Let's move to page 38. My job is so hard. Amorim frustrated as Manchester United lost again.
He's not alone. Even Maresca is also finding.
Now that loss from Manchester United pushed them to position
15.
15.
Yes, 15.
Let me check. We have the table here.
15, my friend.
To position 15.
Yes.
And we see Manchester position 15, Everton position 30. How did Chelsea stay compliant with PSR? The Premier League's financial rule allows clubs to lose 105 million euros structure and community project. You can also check that. And lastly, on the last page, Bayern Munich looks to extend winning streak. League leaders will feel confident of progressing given they are unbeaten at home in the Champions League in 20 games. Bayern has not lost in 30 games, in the 20 games. Now,
And
we
I think
have...
this is the first time. This is the first time.
Mhm.
Let me check. Let me check my facts right first of all. Let me check. I think this is the first time Hurricane is going to lift a trophy.
If all goes well.
If all goes well,
Mhm.
this is the first time Hurricane is going to lift at least a major trophy, a major competition trophy, because he was in Tottenham and was one of the best strikers, I feared, especially when he was playing against Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Take on the...
People, I don't know, I can see the president of Rwanda. Is it Rwanda?
That's Paul Kagame.
Yes.
He's
And then,
breathing hot.
yeah, to,
M23.
yeah, and then now there's a person sitting on that fire and is really crying. Is this your definition of ceasefire?
utamu na urembo wa maisha hubainishwa na kumbukumbu za kipekee zinazowafanya wapendwa wetu kupendezwa na urembo huo. Blackman Digitech Studios sasa ndiyo studio pekee inayoweza kukupea kumbukumbu kama hizi. Tunatoa huduma kama vile birthday shoots, graduation shoots, baby shower shoots, banner designing and printing, indoor and outdoor photo shoot, roll-up banners, t-shirt branding and printing, imported polo t-shirts branding, videography, school ID printing, live streaming, TV adverts and voiceovers, 3D street light banners, rubber stamp. Pia tunatoa mafunzo ya ICT classes, videography classes, cyber services na mengine mengi. Ili kujua mengi zaidi, tutembelee katika afisi zetu zinazopatikana Onyinjo karibu na Tiendege bodaboda stage, au tupigie simu kwa nambari 0721379308. Blackman Digitech Studios, the quality you can trust.
This is BTV Kenya, your home live TV.
visit our pages, leave a comment so that we know where you are viewing us from. We brings you debate and discussion on matters that affects Migori County and the Republic of Kenya at large. Now, allow me to take this opportunity to introduce my guest, to give him an opportunity to say a word or two of welcome. Welcome, Honorable.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Mr. Isaiah. I am Honorable Malan Ogega. I represented the people of Ragana Ruba in 2022, 2020, was it 2017, 2022, sorry, where I also served the House as a leader of majority. I am a married man with kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, as you just heard, Honorable Malan served in the Migori County Assembly as the majority chief, majority
leader.
Majority leader.
Yes.
That is in 2017 to 2022, and he was elected as a member of Migori County Assembly from Ragana Uruba Ward.
Yes.
We thank God because he's here with us. We want to discuss matters that affect Migori County and the entire Republic of Kenya. I'm your host, Gagi Isaiah. Now, just to jumpstart what we want to discuss on.
Yes.
Now, we are in the Christmas seasons.
Yes.
What is your advice? I a bit know you more extensively as a teacher before you joined politics.
Yes.
What is your advice to young people now that we are in the Christmas festive seasons? What can you say to them outside there?
Thank you very much. Allow me to take this chance, first of all, to wish everybody a Merry Xmas and Happy New Year in advance. You also allow me to take this chance to give my piece of advice to the youths of this country, not only Migori, but the youths of the country at large, that it's a time that people really feel that they really want to celebrate and enjoy and marry. But I only want to give them a word of advice in one statement, that can we do things with moderations? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Doing things with moderation. I also know you to be a Christian, to be a believer, somebody who holds Christianity with a lot of strength, like you have it at heart.
Yes.
So we'll also be discussing matters that involves the church and the state at some point.
Thank you.
But before we get into that, you have been into politics.
Yes.
From 2017 to 2022.
Yes.
And comparing during that time and now, what can you say is the current state of politics in Migori?
Thank you very much. I really want to say that I've been in politics from 2015, but I was elected as a representative in 2017. I want to say that over this period of time that I have made an observation that the political temperatures in the county, at some point there, it was seriously rising, coming prematurely. But right now it's like it's at a level, it's still a bit high, that I pray that it should come low because we are not yet there. So what I would say is that I find there's a drop in the way it's being done in the recent past, but just before then, some little time back, around 2 or 3 months down the line, it was really charged. Yes.
Is it good for the county development if people are doing politics at the time that we need them to serve the people of Migori County?
Isaiah, I believe there is a time for everything. There's a time to do politics, and then there's a time to elect the leadership out of the people who have done the politics, and then there's a time to serve the people. Now, if we bring this together, that we want to do politics and serve, in my opinion, yes, but we will not reap much. Remember, the essence of doing elections that come as a result of politics is to get service delivery. Now, if you bring in politics in the midst of service delivery, then believe you me, what we will reap will not to the maximum.
So, in your opinion, you're advising the politicians in Migori to tone down the political temperature.
Exactly.
So that things may normalize, so that they will be working.
Exactly. You know, we are in the middle of the journey. We did our elections in 2022. We are in 2024, yes. Entering 2025 very soon. Yes. So you look at it, we shall have our elections in 2027. Mm-hmm. So we are kind of just in the right middle of everything. So if we want to do politics when we are in the middle of things, where are we headed to?
I get you.
Yes.
I get you.
Yes.
Now, many politicians, you being one of them,
yes.
Before you were elected into office,
yeah.
you people make promises.
We do.
Like you say, in 100 days, you would have accomplished this.
Yes.
Within 90 days. And so, right now we see in the county of Migori,
yes.
Governor Ochila Yako,
yes.
actually he was elected in 2022.
Yes.
And has been serving. And many people have been saying that it's not working, is not delivering, and they are kind of saying the former governor Obado worked, not saying that Obado had served for 10 years while Dr. Chilayako only this now the third year since he was elected in the office.
Yes.
Now, what can you say to these people who are saying that things are not working in the county, the governor is not working? You have been in politics.
Yes. I want to say that when we are elected, we get elected on a platform on things that you promise members of the public. This would make people to elect a person X leaving a person Y on the manifesto that you sold to them. Now, I tend to imagine that it's still a little bit early to say that Governor Ochilo is not working, because every person, what you do is measured at the end of the 5-year period. But again, in between, people do checks on what you're doing, because all this that we do in terms of development are pegged on the budget. All right?
Yeah.
So if the first budget is red and they see very little, the second budget is red, they see very little in terms of implementation, then I think people would start talking. The mind becomes, they will be speculative that now that this is not happening, what is it that is happening if they don't have tangible things to count? But meanwhile, it should remain that all the leadership that we elected in 2022, we give them up to 2027. That does not mean that people cannot criticize. I'm talking about positive criticism. It's different from doing politics. Yes. Yeah.
Now, you having served as an MCA,
yes.
Raganu Ruba Ward, and also majority leader of the county assembly then.
Yes.
And many people have been saying that the MCAs are not working. I want you to help us understand what are the roles of MCA, what are the perimeters, where should they reach, and where should they not go overboard? What is it that they should be doing and that they should not be doing? Is there allocation from the national government for the MCAs, or MCAs are dependent solely on the county government's budget?
Isaiah, let me tell you, it is quite a challenge to be an MCA. I tend to imagine that in all these 6 elective positions, I have not been an MP, I've not been the president, but I've been an MCA. And I tend to think that MCA has too much to take. There is that very high expectation. Why? Because you are with everybody at the lower cadre there. You are the first person, the first leader that everybody reaches. So the expectation is too high, yet in terms of what you can do financially and economically, it is too low against a very high expectation. So MCAs face a lot of pressure given what people expect of them against what they are able to do. And some of them, or some of us bring this pressure on us unknowingly, especially when we are looking for votes. We really give pledges as MCA, I'll do you this, I'll do you this, I'll do you this. But when you now come to the reality, you find that you don't control funds you don't have a direct control over the funds. You remain with the role of oversight. You don't execute. So if I promised you or I pledged you something, after electing me, I realize that whatever project that I may want to be done is not directly under me. Or rather, I do not have direct control over it.
So in other words, my question is, what are the perimeters? What are the role of MCA? What is it that is expected of them? Because people are saying MCAs are not working. MCAs are not working.
Now, MCAs have about 3, but let me separate them to 4 major roles.
Yeah.
Number 1, the MCAs do legislation, right?
Yeah.
They make laws at the assembly, okay? Yeah. Number 2, they do what we call oversight. Things that have been implemented are done by the executive. So it is the role of the MCA to come and oversight all these that were implemented by the executive. So they oversight on the projects, they don't implement. And then number 3, they represent. He represents his electorate at any level, in whichever function, at the assembly. He speaks on their behalf. Those are 3. I've talked of legislation, I've talked of oversight, I have talked of representation, and then they also approve of the budget. All right? The budget is prepared by the executive, but approved by the assembly. So those are mainly the 4 main.
So the narrative that MCA needs to construct roads, MCA needs to build schools, that is classroom, the ECD, these are null and void. They don't exist.
The understanding of the people on the role of the MCAs is still a little bit low, to be very candid with you.
Yeah.
People imagine that we should implement or we should execute, whereas the MCAs do not have that role. They should oversight. It is the executive. Actually, that thing that is missing in an area should belong, it's the responsibility of the governor and his ministers, the CC members, plus his staff. It is them to execute, all right, to implement. And then the MCA come to oversight. Is it there? They promise a school should have been here, an ECD classroom should have been here. Is it here? From the budget, some water should have been drilled at Kamadaga. Was it drilled? From the budget, a dispensary should have been constructed at Lichotakojuang or at Namba. Is it done? So the work of the MCO now, you oversight on the projects that are being implemented by the executive.
Now, Mheshimiwa, you are in politics, and as we speak now, you are out of limelight.
Yes.
What's next for you?
Thank you. I was in politics, but right now I've toned down. But I'm still a politician.
Are you coming back?
I'm giving the people elected time to execute on the promises and the pledges and the dreams of their manifestos to wananchi. Because at the end of it all, Mr. Isaiah, it is the service delivery, which I equally need as a citizen.
Yeah.
So for now, we are giving them time. That does not mean we don't oversight or we don't criticize or we don't give an opinion over anything that may call for such.
But I remember you also campaigned, you also made promises to people.
Yes.
Did you deliver them?
Let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, you know, this representation, it's an opportunity that given to you by God through the people.
Yeah.
You can't convince me that I didn't perform. Let me tell you why I believe I performed, and that is the reality. Number one, all that we do at the assembly in terms of our duties,
Yes.
we get ranked by different bodies. So I took over when my predecessor, Mheshimiwa Hezron, Baragana was number 18 in the entire county.
Of 40 wards.
Of the, out of the 40 wards. Yes. So when I took over, I brought it to number 12, the first financial year. The second financial year, I was number 7. The third financial year, I was number 3. Finally, when we were now concluding on the last budget, I was number 1 in Migori County, where I was invited, where I was ranked by the Gala Awards as the best MCA of Migori County. and we celebrated in Mombasa.
I
Seriously.
remember.
You remember, You do remember? Yes, I was the best MCA and second best in Nyanza. So at times when people elect, the parameters by which the members of the public judge people, at times we don't understand. Because if it's work, yes, I did. You cannot tell me I didn't work, yet as was categorized
As the best.
as the best. After looking into so many things. Yeah, so that definitely tell me that I worked and my conscience is very clear. Yes.
Now, you worked. Actually, I've heard of people saying that you see this and this road, Mheshimiwa Masara helped this road to be there. It was not there, it is there. But in equal measure, people also did accuse you severally that you never worked, that when it came to a time that they needed you, you are not available. But this particular one is so much outside there. I don't believe you did it, but now you are on air, you can share with them and say, they say that when it reach time when you are supposed to meet those who elected you, you would sleep in your car, people will not see you. So can you help them understand this? Now you are on air, you are able to understand this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In politics, people will always form a narrative. Okay?
Yeah.
And especially if you have a smart opponent, he or she may form a narrative negative to work as a tool of down-bringing you. Okay? Now, yes, that was said that I wasn't there. But ask them now. Because you know, you can only criticize. You can talk negatively before you compare one with the other. So right now that they are comparing, they see that I was so much available. Except, there are things that they don't understand. As a leader of majority, I had a lot of responsibility to be at the assembly. Remember, I was also a leader in the assembly.
Yes.
As a leader of majority, so I must be there on time, and I must also be here to serve the people. So balancing people here, actually balancing on the needs of the people at times is a challenge, because you didn't need to go and do the work that they elected you to. You rush to the assembly, but you get probably 20 or 30 have come to your home. They are seated every day. They want you to attend to them. You listen to them every day. But you also have a duty to do at the assembly. So when you try to do the balancing, they kind of say, you've not done me what I want. When you pass with your vehicle, you rush to go and do. The reason why I became number one on all these, and I can count with the projects that even my successor may not, and even my predecessor may not, is because I was trying to balance on things. I could give them about 30 minutes to hear them, rush to the assembly. Remember me, I was operating from my home.
Yes.
Whereas other MCAs, they live probably nearer to the nearer town so that they can access to the assembly on time. All right? But me, now that my home is just not very far away from the assembly, so I would operate from my home. So every day you attend to people, every day you rush to go to the assembly to execute the duty for which they elected you. So their judgment was wrong. The parameters for judgment was wrong, but I would accept it because they had passed a verdict. Yes.
Now you said if I would not mind, you would mention some of the things that they would point out that they do, which even the current sitting MCA does it not.
We cannot. We don't want to. I want to be very fair. We cannot judge the current government. Let me use the word government. We cannot judge them that they have not done much because they have only gone halfway the journey. Me, I went fullest. So, but what would help us, as I told you, you would count that. What is it that I did vis-a-vis what the current or the whatever has done within the span of 2 years? So, if I did 20, and I expect them that by now they should have done 10, because these things are done through a budget that comes yearly. So if somebody has done less than that in terms of duties, then we will tell you you've not done much. Yeah. So if you count all these primary schools that we have in Ragano Ruba, 22, all of them have ECDs, which were done in a span of 5 years. Go to Milimani, go to Nyangubo, go to Ruba Primary, go to Keyo, go to Migori Primary, go to Deep, go to Wotogik, go to Asar. All of them in a span of 5 years. I did 3 bridges. I did a bridge at Milimani, okay? I pushed and it was done as my role, okay? So if I say the word I did, those, of course, those things, they don't come from the blues. You must follow up, you must oversight thoroughly and push for them to be done. So there's a bridge at Milimani, there's a bridge at Kadiang, there's a bridge at Kanyaganda. Those are 3 bridges that were done within that span of time. I opened up very many roads. When you come to roads, we opened up so many new roads. Adaro Tabaka Road, a road from, there's so many of them, I don't want to count them now because it would eat up into our time.
So you have said that you did a lot.
Yes.
Now, out of Migori politics,
Yes.
we have seen, I want you to help us understand, as somebody who has been the majority leader
Yes.
in the county assembly, it also, I believe, similar, your role is kind of similar to the role of the members of the parliament in the National Assembly.
Yes.
Your role
Almost.
then was kind of similar.
Yeah.
Now, we did see the impeachment
Yes.
of Rigathi Gachagua,
Yes.
the former Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, who was impeached, is out. We know constitutionally, once you are impeached, you are doomed politically. Nowhere to go. You can't be elected in any political office. You cannot serve Republic of Kenya at any capacity. But we still see Rigathi Gachagua going around doing politics. Do you think he's getting anywhere with whatever he's doing currently?
Rigathi Gachagua was impeached. But let me make a correction.
Yes.
Impeachment is not the end of the road. Because by law, you take 10 years in the cold. Thereafter, you can make a comeback. But you look at Rigathi Gachagua, in my opinion, he's just trying to be a kingmaker. Okay? Now that he was impeached, he's trying to be a kingmaker in his constituency, where he calls my people every day. So it's just trying to be the one who would dictate who is to be elected and who is not to be elected, and their things and how they would be happening. Okay? So it's kind of just trying to be a kingmaker, or just to be a lord, some lord behind, lord in quotes, yeah? That would dictate on how things happen and who is getting elected and all that.
Do you think he's getting anywhere? Because we did see when he was kicked out,
Yes.
Kithure Kindiki came in.
Yes.
And this did see a split in Mount Kenya,
Yes.
the eastern and the western Mount Kenya.
Yes.
There was a split. And still there were still people crying
Yes.
against President William Ruto. And recently, a week ago, last week to be precise, the president of the cabinet ministers, and he did drop some parts to Mount Kenya. Do you think whatever he's doing is giving him a mileage come 2027?
Isaiah, politics is politics. This thing happened. I want to tell you that the community, the Gachagua community, were really behind him, and they really felt it. But the president, being a politician, he saw that, and he knew that he would go with a chunk. He would go with a chunk. He would go with a good chunk, of course. But he's countering him. The presidency is countering him. The president, sorry, is countering this act of impeachment plus the pull that Gachagua will go with. And that is why you saw recently he visited with the former president. After consultation, his men were also incorporated in the government. You saw that very well. So the influence and the emotion that the people had when Gachagua was dropped, the percentage has dropped. The people following, up to a certain level, a percentage is dropped. So that means you will not just have it a whole chunk. No. So with the incoming of the gentlemen that were appointed, I really don't think that that would be really so much standing. And given the fact that the former president is has also sided with the president, so you know he's a man with a following as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they call him Kamwana, and at some point they started regretting why they did not take his direction.
Yes.
So now that he's here, there are people who will automatically follow him, because in life, men follow men. All right, men follow men. As a leader, we only call you a leader because you have a following. So the following behind Uhuru will definitely go his direction. In this case, the way things seem is that they will go to support the president.
Now, I didn't tell you earlier, but remember, this is where you expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Having mentioned, talking about the following,
Yes.
coming back to our county,
Yes.
we have seen Honorable Peter Masara, Sona West Member of Parliament, coming out very vocal.
Yes.
He wants to be the next governor of the Republic, or I mean of Migori County.
Yes.
And we have also seen Mark Nyamita out, is also pushing forward. He wants to be, actually, the other time we did hear him crying, say, please leave me this man alone, leave me this man alone. I pray that you leave me this man alone. He's also there.
Yeah.
We also see John Pesa is out. I believe those are the major three who are now like kind of want the seat, are very much hot for the seat. They say we are going for this. And we have also seen the governor. You say a politician is a politician, being very tactical. What he did, the speaker was out. He brought in the speaker from West.
Yes.
And we have also seen, after bringing in the speaker from the West, and he has also is bringing in the former contender, that is Obiero Liege, who contended against Masara fiercely.
Yeah.
He's also coming in his camp.
Yes.
And we have also seen he has also given a minister to Sona East,
Yes.
that is Minister for Water,
Yes.
who was sworn in some few weeks ago. He also given him. Do you think, with this kind of political plans, do you think Masara and Nyamita and Nani has a place, in your opinion?
Thank you very much, Asa. Let me tell you that so far, those are the only interested people who have declared their interest. Though in my opinion, it's coming too early. But I heard one of them say that if you want to go for a journey tomorrow, you prepare today. Okay, but in my opinion, if that kind of narrative is allowed to really continue, it would affect performance. All right, but they have their democratic rights and they have declared their interest, and that is okay. So what I'm saying is that for now there are only about four that you have counted.
Yeah.
Many more are yet to come because it's not yet time. All right. Now, I want to assure you that if many more come, because almost every candidate who will be going for that position would get a following. I've told you, men follow men.
Yes.
Regardless of the numbers, and you know politics are a game of numbers.
Yes.
So that take advantage. Believe me.
So the more they come,
Yes.
the governor is having more chances of getting back to the position.
Yes. You know, the incumbency, I would say, up to now, has a chunk of support almost everywhere. Okay? In almost every sub-county and in every village. They may not be very many, but they are there. Okay? And those are his. But any other candidate that comes in, I would tell you, they eat up into the rebellion, or to the rebels, sorry, okay? Because you would get that up, maybe when we went for the elections in 2017, the incumbent, the governor now, right, the Honorable Chilo had the number of votes that he got, okay? But over a period of time, he must have lost some, because their expectations are not met. So that means there are people that still believes in him, and here we have people who don't believe in him. And these people who do not believe in him, fine, there may be many. But if we have so many candidates contesting, I want to assure you that the many they are, each and every candidate will split, have a chunk, small one. At the end of the it all, the incumbents will still rule.
Now, coming back to you,
Yes.
you lost in 2022.
Yes.
Honorably.
I accepted, and I accepted the defeat, yes.
Now, what is your plan?
Thank you.
Come
It's a
2027.
good thing. My plan now, as we talk, I am a farmer. All right? I'm doing farming as we talk. I am a businessman. I do business as we talk. I'm also trying entrepreneurship. I do that as we talk. I will do politics at the right time. But for now, I think I am in this other field.
Do you like kind of plan to come back come 2027, or you don't want to? You want to that to remain obsolete?
Isaiah,
You want to speak about it?
can you remain watching at the pace? In 2026, all right? In 2026, I don't need a lot of introduction. They know, and they compare, all right? So in 2026, watch the pace.
So are you going to come, because you said I watch the pace, that
Yeah.
means that you are kind of coming back. Are you going to go back to the same position, the same role as member of county assembly, or you are going for the higher position? Because the higher position is kind of, to some extent, is going to remain vacant.
I am telling you, watch the pace. Watch the pace. You know,
Yes.
these things, you don't just go for it for the sake of things that you want it. But you really have to listen to the ground. If I may borrow the language of the former president, deputy president, you have to listen to the ground. Ground nasema nini? Yes.
So you are listening to the ground.
And that's why I'm telling you, watch the pace.
And the ground is going to be hot because you remember the border president. We are also having here saying that is coming
Yes.
to contest. So you have to think of that.
Yes.
Because he has the chunk of the border riders.
Yes.
So you have to consider that. You have to listen to the ground so carefully.
Yes.
So that you don't miss anything.
And that's why I'm telling you, watch the pace, listen to the ground. Yes.
A leader must have a follower.
Definitely.
Good. And you have been a leader. I believe you're a leader.
Yes, I am.
What are you doing right now as a leader that is impactful to the members of the society or a place where you live within? Because I don't believe everything was done when you lost. You are a leader. What are you doing right now for the people? Because you must not be a politician to be there for the people.
Thank you very much. I say I'm a leader, whether in politics or not. These people gave me their votes, and they made me be whom I am. I have a title that will go with me under the ground, the honorable title. It remains until you die. And that one aside, the status that I have acquired in this area that we live, rather, I am a leader. So I will still do what pertains leadership and what is required of leadership without a fail. Anywhere, I participate in their Harambes, all right? I give the little assistance for the people who come to me. When I have, when I don't, I don't. And every other thing that pertains leadership, I do. I don't think I've failed anywhere to do what is right.
Now, you said Harambes.
Yes.
You get to there.
I do.
And mostly, the Harambes are today mostly conducted in churches.
Well,
Now, we did see the Catholic
yes.
came out and said they don't need any money, any donation from the president, and actually they gave back the money that the president gave.
Yes, yes.
And that's a church.
Yeah.
And we also did see some other members of the church coming in and say, we accept the donation that the president is giving. We don't have a problem with that. And we categorically, we did see the president of PEFA Kenya, Daktari John Okinda coming out and saying they are welcoming the donation from the church. Yesterday, it is still in the paper, People Daily newspaper, where we see the SEK leadership say they welcome the donation from the president. Is the church breathing cold or warm at the same time?
Have you said the SEK?
Yes, Anglican Church of Kenya.
Because the other day, the leader,
Ole
Sapit, really condemned, and he was not for the opinion, or rather was not in support of getting.
People Daily newspaper.
Okay,
is
but
there.
what
So is the church breathing hot and cold at the same time on this matter?
in my opinion, the church is split. That is my opinion. It's like the liturgical churches speak a different language from the evangelical churches. All right. If you look at what the Catholic Church has been saying, and if you say, I'm not aware of this thing that you're saying, but as far as I'm concerned, up to last week, the Anglican Church was also not for the donation. and they stand that they don't want it because they feel this money is got in a bad way. It's a money that is gained out of corruption or something of that kind. But I saw the evangelical churches led by Bishop Nani of the Bishop of which church was that? Kariuki led the people to the president. I saw Bishop Professor by the way it's now Professor John Okinda also saying that they are ready as a perfect church or perfect churches Kenya, we are ready to accept it. So those are the evangelical churches. You see, they're on the other side, and the liturgical churches are also this other side. So that makes them not to speak as a unit. How I wish, because in governance, Isaiah, you cannot wish away church as part of governance. All right? Church is part of governance, because the people in church are the people that are led in the political way again. So if they would come together, be one thing, and speak as a church, whatever they say would be meaningful. But if this group say this, the other group says the other thing, then it loses the meaning. It loses the meaning. So they don't, to me, I'm getting a bit confused with what the church is saying. I wish they were talking as a people, the way it has been in the previous times. Wherever matters arise, they have always stood as a church. So we say, the church says this, but today what we say, the liturgical says this, the evangelical says this, which is not very good. They are divided. In my opinion, I wish they spoke as a unit.
But again, in your opinion,
yes,
should the church accept the donation from the state, from the politician?
That is, you say that I also have church background.
Yes.
And I'm in church and I know. There is a lot of debate over that. If you asked what we call the scholars, the biblical scholars, right?
Yeah.
They would have a lot of argument. A group would say that the gift in itself gets sanctified through prayers. The gift is not holy. So when they prayed over it, so it gets sanctified and it becomes holy.
Yeah.
All right? Somebody says that, you see, all this means that people look for, all ways and means that people look money for and they bring to church. Not all of it is really okay. But that's a belief. There's a section that believe that when you put it there, they pray over it, it gets sanctified and it's okay. I think that is the kind of aspect that the evangelical churches try to emulate. But whereas there's also another feeling, rather another thought from the other end, that the monies that are acquired through dubious means, through corruption, that money is not really okay. It is not worth serving God. So I've given the little two aspects that exist.
So you are neither supporting the government donation to churches, and neither are you criticizing it.
But
you can't stand in the middle on this matter. If today they approach the church where you fellowship, will you tell the clergy that please don't take the money, or please take the money? You have to
How many donations have they been? How many donations have they been?
I mean, the donation from the state, that is the members.
If we have organized for a fundraiser, all right, and we invite guests, and the president brings his, who am I to judge? Why would I just imagine? Because are you getting my argument?
I'm getting argument.
We have organized for a fundraiser, or the authority, the president has visited with us, and he has said, I have brought this to the church for the construction or for the doing of, rather for the any development. Who am I to judge? Why would I judge? Who told me that this exact man that was brought here, the very man, came out of corruption? Who told me? Can you tell me? Who told me?
You have a better answer to that.
So I don't judge. Let God judge.
So yes. What is corruption?
Corruption. Using dubious means to acquire things in the illegal way.
So it means that in your opinion you are saying it is okay. If a politician comes from fundraising and has given a chunk of his contribution to the church for a fundraising, it is okay.
Let me tell you,
In
Isaiah.
your opinion.
Let me tell you, Isaiah. You know you're using the word a politician, all right? Where I am one, and I
Yes.
was one,
Yes.
and I went to Arambe's.
Yes.
I never, I don't have any monies that I got through dubious means. If I take my 5,000 shillings, it is mine. I am a politician, but I've taken it in service and in honor to God. What's wrong with that money?
I don't know. May I was
You
just
cannot
I only ask.
we cannot blanketly judge that all politicians have money from corruption. No, I don't encourage corruption, because me as Malam, I have never been corrupt. Anything I have, I can account for it. All right? However small it is, I can account for it. I don't encourage corruption. So if we invite a politician and he feels in his heart that he wants to give to God, who are you to judge? Let God judge him.
But not you to take the part of God.
You know, until you tell me that that very, very money, unless he comes and says this money was arrived from this kind of deal through dubious means, but I brought it here, that I would have a different thought. But if I've just come and I dip my hands into my pocket and bring the 5 million and I drop it there, or I give it there in service to God, who told you that that very money that I brought is a product of corruption? People have different investments.
Okay.
Okay.
You are a leader.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
We are in church.
Yes.
Recently,
Yes.
before what's happening currently, we did see the church. We did see a church is being divided. Many churches are dividing themselves, beginning from PEFA. And we move, there is this church, how do we call it? It has been in existence for some time. It is getting, this church where Bishop Joe Pio fellowship, it was.
I know it, but I've forgotten the name. It's, I don't know where it is. Is it the? Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. There's a division there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Like from the national to the lowest people.
Yes.
And right now we see PEFA is also being divided. Whether you like it, it is in the domain. It is in the public domain. You cannot run away from that. What's your opinion about the church being divided on its own? Within itself.
To this far, in my opinion, PEFA, to the far that we have reached, we are not yet divided yet. But we have people holding different opinions. All right? Different opinions and philosophies. All right?
Oh, the church was full gospel churches.
The full gospel churches, yes, thank you. But so, for the PEFA church, in my opinion, people are just holding different opinions. Any matters of election are very emotive, and they leave cracks. So after having an election as a PEFA, I know there were different cracks. All right? Because when your expectations are not met, you may want your feelings and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah. So these are just but aftermaths, just a wave in the cup. It will cool down.
I think I was not supposed to ask you that question. I'm going to look for Bishop that is in charge of this region, because in the past week, the week that just ended, they know I go to PEFA.
Yes.
And somebody was asking, how come you people are having two camps at the same time and you have the same region divided into two? I think we'll be able to explain that further.
Yeah, I think Bishop will answer you, but I'll just
Not really our bishop, but I'm going to look for the presiding bishop. I believe it's around.
Okay, thank you. I think he's in a position to tell, but obviously it's that people are different camps, okay? And towards the election, people are different camps, and elections were done, and those are aftermath. People are not healed, but if you look at them, people just trying to imagine that we have different camps, but their subscription go to the same account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the full gospel churches of Kenya, well, we must say that there must have been a shake-up in the recent past. Churches are splitting. That is very true. Though I'm saying perfect,
Yes,
not yet.
churches are
But
splitting.
churches are splitting.
That's what I was saying.
But Isaiah, some are splitting out of greed for power, and some are also splitting because of poor administration. But if the split can lead to the better spread of the gospel, let them split. Because even Paul and Barnabas, they had to part ways. They differed on principles. Okay? So Paul went
A different route.
and Barnabas also led another group to a different route. But what is important that at the tail end, do they converge again in Christ? Yeah?
The gospel was preached.
Thank you.
We are in the festive season.
Yes.
People are celebrating. Young people are celebrating. Not just wishing them Merry Christmas, but we believe there is more. There's rampant accidents in there. You have a family, we have a family.
Yes.
What can you tell the residents of Migori when it comes to festive season? It comes with a lot of challenges. As a leader, as their leader,
Thank you.
who have them at heart.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Isaiah. I still want to say what I had said, that in everything that we do during this festive season, let us remember to do things with moderations. Whatever thing you are doing, moderate. Do not over-exaggerate. Do not overdo, because if you overdo, it will lead you to another thing that you didn't expect. So whether you are a drive on the road, do it with moderation. All right? Whatever thing, whether you are celebrating, do it with moderation. That is my word over this season.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to preserve some of my questions because I know you're going to come and I'm going to pair with somebody.
Thank you very much.
We are going to debate issues of development, especially entrepreneurship. I know you are an entrepreneur.
Yes,
I know you are a farmer. So we will get opportunity, if God will, and we pray you'll come back and share with us. But looking into the camera, I wanted to say your last word. I wanted to speak to Kenyans. I wanted to speak to the Migori residents and Ruparagana residents as we wind up. Your last word to them. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, fellow Kenyans. I want to first of all take this chance once again to wish each and every one of us Merry Xmas and Happy New Year in advance. It's my prayer that God will cover us with the blood of Jesus, that all that we undertake and whatever thing we do, wherever we go, in all our undertakings, it's my prayer that we shall do it with moderations, taking into consideration that we are in a time that a lot of bad things do happen. It's my wish that we really need to do things in the best way, considering the fact that January is coming with a lot of responsibilities, where we shall be needed to pay fees to schools and also take our children to various colleges and meet other needs. So I once again say that in all that we do, we celebrate, we drink, we eat, whatever thing we do it with moderations. Thank you. May God bless all of us. In Jesus.
Just as I said earlier, we are a human rights organization, women-led, and our main focus is on gender-based violence, all forms of gender-based violence. So Amua Mama is really on the backbone to eradicate, or rather to reduce the cases of violence that incur in our community. Yes.
Now, when we talk about gender-based violence, and we've had a lot of cases about femicide, many people think of it as it is violence against women only. And many people also think it is about killing of the women only. What are the perimeters that gender-based violence encompasses? We have never seen men coming out, organizations coming out to defend men when it comes to gender-based violence, but we know that men are also being abused.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is it that you people are doing as the activists, as people who champion for gender-based violence, doing in regards to what concerns men?
Thank you. First of all, Isaiah, the term gender is inclusive. It's inclusive to both men and women. So when we say we advocate against gender-based violence, it's inclusive to both men and women. So anybody who has been violated and victimized, a man or a woman, a human rights defender has to come in to defend whatever kind of violence that has been perpetrated against that person. So Amua Mama is a women-led organization, but as you've said that you've not met organizations that have come out to defend men on probably on camera or before other people. There are. It's only that there is a difference between violence that are being perpetrated in men. We know that men are egoistic in nature, and they don't really come out as women and children. Yes, and women and children are usually termed as the weaker sex. So their violations are usually weighed more than men, because you find that most of, sorry to say, and most of our perpetrators are usually male chapters, and it is in rare cases that you find women being perpetrators. And if you find a woman is a perpetrator, the perpetration has been done to a child and not a man.
Now, I've been wondering, we are within the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. What are the modes of operations? What are the strategies you people are putting in place to help curb this? Because it is more than just going outside there, doing a walk in the town of Migori, in different towns, and getting back to sit. How are we going to curb this? Because we've learned that from the report, from the United Nations report, this happens within the family setup.
Yes.
And it happens mostly within the relatives. What are we going to do? Like, have you come up with ideas to find out what are the causes of gender-based violence?
Yes. Within my experience that I've had working with the community, within the 16 days of gender-based violence, which did not start maybe 2 years or 1 year, it started way back with the UN women who went to Beijing and set up 16 days. And these 16 days are not just set up for demonstrations or maybe to just sit. We have 16 days of different activities. So different organizations have different activities within these 16 days. You find that some of our organizations are good at advocacy. So they will go out and advocate and tell the community about, teach the community about violence, the badness of violence. And also within the 16 days we have education. So we will educate, we will sensitize. That's how we are going to try and bring these people together, because when we go out to the community, we will find different sets of families in one place, maybe in the marketplace. Maybe we organize a community engagement at a police setup, or maybe barazas where we will find different setup of families, and one or two families will get something and go back and disseminate the same information. So within the 16 days we have a lot of programs set up. Yes.
Okay. Just for clarification purposes, I've been talking to people about gender-based violence, and what they're saying is it is more than what is seen outside.
Yes.
It is more than what is brought to the general public. Before a fight begins, there are causes of those fights.
Yes.
Like in, I want to take this scenario. We live in a society whereby people have what they believe in and what they want to be done. If this is not met, then this brings out this. Like you find out where we live. I was giving a scenario before we move into the set. We learned that you find that today the married couples, the life is not as it was in the past 20 years.
True.
There is no jobs. So you find that, for example, a lady has an expectations that has to be met. And most probably the person is living with as a husband does not have a job, a well-paying job. Maybe this guy is just doing kamjengo work, which at the end of the day comes back in the house with 600 shillings at least. And he needs to buy food, he needs to do the clothing, he needs to do general, because this amount of money cannot be enough. Well, a lady wants her hair be done maybe weekly, and the man is not able to provide this. And these are the causes of gender-based violence to some extent. And also the media. What we see in the media, you see people flattering, people giving information which are not real, which we tend to adapt to without knowing the cause of this. They say these are some of the causes of gender-based violence. Now, as an activist, can you clarify a bit, maybe, if you have an idea of some of the causes that leads to gender-based violence in our society?
Okay, gender-based violence, as we said earlier, is wide. But if we narrow it down to the society setup or family setup, we have a lot of causes that escalate maybe later from a child, will escalate later to violence. Some of the causes will be poverty, the state of living of maybe a family. And wherever there is that word, there is lack of money, there is lack of maybe good sanitation, there is lack of education. You see, there is lack of exposure. So you are confined in a community where you have your beliefs, and your beliefs do not extend because you don't have exposure. You don't see how other communities do it. Then when you grow up, you want to get married, you have to be exposed to another community. You want to bring your norms in this family, and that's violence, So there are different forms. You find that there is also mental issues. Stress brings about violence, And violence is not only on physical aspect, that you have to batter someone until maybe their face or maybe their body is disfigured. We also have mental violence. We have mental violence, we have financial violence. These are lots of issues that are brought out by so many different ways. And most of these people, most of these perpetrators, maybe when you get them to a counseling room, you find that this is something that started when he or she was a child. You see? So violence, the causes of violence, the most cause will be poverty, mental health issues, and you know, just as I said, when we talk of poverty, there is lack of education, yes, and now name them. Yes.
Now, on Monday, we realized that in Migori County, where we are, FGM is still practiced in some society, and it has posed a great challenge because we know that it is against human right for the female gender to be mutilated. But this has been happening. What are the challenges that the activists are facing in order to eradicate this, because it wasn't good.
Yes.
So from the figures that we learned on Monday, especially in Migori.
Yeah, it is still very sad that we still have to fight FGM in this era. And honestly, as human rights defenders, we usually have an unhappy task when it comes to trying to eradicate FGM, especially the way it's done. It's really traumatizing to a female child. So we've really tried, but in most cases you find that this thing is practiced, but when you really try to uproot the people who caused this, they are old women and probably old men who do it. They are not brought into book. And at the end of it, there is kangaroo court that really affects us. You try so hard to bring these people to book, take them to court, and at some point, it just vanishes. Then number two cause we should have as Migori County, we should have a safe space for these the victims. So before they are victimized, they should be taken to a safe space. All female child of maybe certain age should just be taken to a safe space at that particular time. So I think these people will have no one to mutilate, and it will be a norm. But the biggest challenge is not taking them to book. That's our biggest challenge. Yes. If one or two women will be taken seriously and taken to court, it will be eradicated. I am very sure.
I don't know whether you've heard of this, that today, because there's a lot of championing on women, and men seems to be left behind, there are cases of people who pretend, especially ladies, like take this scenario. A lady moves with a guy, is in love with this guy. Maybe she needs finance. She has known that this guy is, the pocket is heavy enough. He goes with this guy, and after maybe having an affair, they come out saying that she's raped. Have you come across these cases as a Mua mama? And how do you deal with them? Because in that case, it is very, very difficult. And to talk to people who are inside the bus, they will tell you that in the cells, they will tell you this was a consensual act. The only things changed when it came on money. She demanded money, and I was not able to give the amount of money that she wants. Now she has turned the case that she was molested, she was raped. Have you come across these cases? And in case you've come across those cases, how do you deal with such?
Okay, thank you very much. And maybe I would like to correct you that men are not left out. You're just quiet, or maybe you don't know how to you know, women are very vocal when it comes to trying to find their rights.
I think it is the way we were brought up. You know,
Yes.
when you were a child, you told
You're a
boys
man,
don't
you're
cry.
strong. Yes.
Yes.
So yes, we've come across cases of rape, and honestly, it is really hard to prove rape, especially to older, you know, maybe, how do I call them? Female who have attained the age of sexual, you know. So when we talk of the conjugal and consent, consent is consent until that time I say no. Even if we were ready and I say no, the moment you forcefully get carnal knowledge to this woman, you have raped that person. So when it comes to court, or maybe the case has been brought to book, we always have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And when I mean beyond reasonable doubt, we have to prove 99.9%. So you find that most of rape cases maybe don't go through. Why? Because when we try to find proof that there was, we have to find the burden of proof that there was carnal knowledge in this lady. It will be hard because we will try and figure out some scratches because while someone is truly raping you, you will struggle, and the evidence of struggle will be seen from the onset, from the scratches, from maybe the inner wears that she wore, you know, and even to the vagina, you know, there has to be proof. So most of these rape cases are never proven, because at the end of the day you find that there is no enough evidence to prove the same, especially when it is between two people who really know each other and they were in a consensual agreement until a certain point that now you disagree on maybe the amount. Yes.
So sometimes it becomes very difficult.
Yes, and most of the time you find that the man goes free because there was no evidence.
Let us get back to Amua Mama. I believe not so many people know about Amua Mama. What is in Amua Mama? What is Amua Mama championing for?
Okay.
At what point should somebody get to Amua Mama?
Okay, Amua Mama started in 2018. We have diverse information. People know about Amua Mama because of the services that we've offered to the community. And Amua Mama has a lot of programs that are run within it. As I said, it's a women-led organization, so that means we are advocating for the rights of women and children only.
Only.
Yes, and we will include men with time.
So will you change the name?
Yes.
Amua Mama, Amua Mama.
No, we will change the name
Amua.
to. We will yes, we will change the name to fit in.
So at what point should somebody reach out to Amua Mama?
Yes. As I said, we've been advocating against gender-based violence, and Amua Mama has been championing a lot. We do access to justice, which means when there is a case or a matter, we help you through the court system, and we have legal aid where we disseminate information to the community about their rights and how to deal with certain cases. And we also do empowerment. We also have mediation services where there are some cases that do not really need to go to court, but it can be arbitrated from outside the court. Yes, so Amua Mama also does that. And our main program now that we are focusing on, we are doing empowerment. We have 25 women that are training on empowerment so that they can be financially stable. So we teach them on financial literacy and also train them on dressmaking and a lot of small activities that can really help them move with their day-to-day lives.
So where do we get to find Amua Mama?
Yes, Amua Mama is, our offices are at Kababu, at the chief's camp or ward administrator's office, but we also have our safe space where our trainings are done along the Mihuru Nyabisawa Road and in Bondeni. That's where we have our safe space, that's where we meet women, that's where we disseminate information.
Now,
yes,
gender-based violence, especially femicide, is rampant in the Republic of Kenya. What do you have, you want to the leaders and you want to the general public about this and how we can go about this to see that we bring it to an end?
Yeah, you've asked me a question that really was in my heart, because opening news, watching your TV, and all you hear is somebody was killed, somebody was butchered here and there. It's very sad, and it's equally very, very, very sad when our government is very silent about it, when they see it as normal killings. A normal killing happens once, maybe in months, but it's still bad. But now these are series of murder, and it's a series of murder of women. Women here, women there, women being butchered, and the latest was one that was boiled. So you wonder, whoever raped and boiled this woman, what was next? Did he want to turn her into a delicacy? Did he want to turn her into food? So this is very sad, and I would tell my community and even the community, even Kenya as a whole, let's be brothers keepers. These are our daughters, these are our sisters, these are our wives, our mothers that we are killing. We are killing a society. We are bringing up a society of people who are inhuman. And to our government, I would like to tell them kindly, let's have this femicide, let it be a national issue. Let us not just talk about it, but act about it. And when somebody is brought to book and there is proof, let that person face what he should face. Let it not just disappear in thin air and the case is still being investigated and boom, nothing has happened. Murder is murder in any form. So our leaders, kindly, I would like to urge them to get out of their comfort zone, especially our women representatives. They are not talking about it. This is not a human rights issue. This is not an organization's issue or CSO's issue. This is a national issue. It should also involve the government. Yes.
I wish you could say a word on men who are dying in silence.
To our dear men who are dying in silence, kindly come out, speak out, because a human is human, be it a man or a woman. Pain is the same. There is any pain that is inflicted on someone it is painful. Kindly come out. Let's talk about these issues. Let's help each other and be anybody's keeper. Please do not keep quiet about it. It is not proper to be egoistic about pain. Let's come out and talk about it. Let the administration help men who come for help. Do not mock them, do not laugh about it, but kindly help them. Because at the end of the day, sorry Isaiah, these are the men who die of mental health. When you keep quiet about something that is paining or hurting you, the next thing we will hear that somebody has hanged himself. Somebody has now become numb. They don't talk anymore. Then what is next? They start having issues on mental health. So our men, please don't keep quiet. We love you and we want to have you by our sides.
Thank you so much. Now, before we wind up on what we have been discussing on gender-based violence, Vibrant Morning brings you news on actually what's happening and what happened. Now, let me just read for you a brief of what is in the People Daily newspaper on gender-based violence. Leaders now say, let us end wave of violence against women. The stories by Solomon Muingi and Faith Masharia. Taita Taveta leaders and lobby groups have raised concern over the increased cases of gender-based violence in the county. Now they want a coordinated approach towards stemming the heinous act that they said slowly gaining momentum in the society. Speaking while leading the launch of 16-day activism against gender-based violence in Voi Taita Taveta, Women Representative Lydia Haika underscored the need to fully eradicate the cases. Now, you can grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read more extensively as it is there in the newspaper. Remember, People Daily newspaper is a free newspaper. Just go to the vendor, pick your copy and read more comprehensively. Also remember to leave a comment. Just visit BTV Kenya, that is YouTube. Leave a comment so that we know where we are reaching you from. You can also visit Facebook page Blackman TV Kenya and also leave a comment. We are very much grateful for you keeping tuned to BTV. I'm your host Gaga Isaiah, but I want to give Wakili Jen to end with a parting shot. Look into the camera.
This is BTV Kenya, your home live TV.